Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Expedition Africa Day 5. 5th of September, we are live from the Cockatiers Hotel on Rodrigues Island. We have a very cool show lined up for you today. We set our team out to go and explore new heights as the teams take on the Via Ferrata. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. The Via Ferrata. It's the first time ever this Via Ferrata is being used on this island. It was set up especially for Expedition Africa, as well as the Absel. But before we get into all of that, here is your daily highlights video from our Elevated Adventure Films crew. Enjoy.
Bike, trek, sup, drink.
Yay!
Eat.
And I do what
drink,
he
eat,
says.
drink, eat, drink.
I've got the best teammates, the men that ran away from the bull that attacked me.
It's a typical Spaniard, bull Spaniard attack. That attacked Retief first.
Started running away, hit me, and I fell over, and I think lucky for me the bull fell with me. He was just over me, and then he was a bit shocked, probably the same as me, and he jumped up and he went after my team member.
The paddle to it was a bit frustrating. We didn't get that close. We had to walk into the CP and walk back out and then paddle around to the checkpoint, to the transition.
During the night we have spent time on the trek.
The Via Ferrata was stunning, but the bridge I wasn't that comfy. But it was really nice. Pity that we had to do it in the dark.
Just carry on a bit, see what happens.
Everybody ready to go?
Ready when you are.
I think we'll Steph. Steph? I think Steph. Wait, I can take it out with my teeth.
It's a stone, actually.
We're hiking at the moment, a bit of sleep monsters. Limited sleep, and all of us, God's been pulling me around this course, and we're deciding what to do. So we think we're going to have a bit of a rest, like a power nap for 10-15 minutes.
The race has been tough, but fun and challenging, and my team's excellent.
I think we pushed our boat like 2 kilometers to get to the island.
No way.
It was insane.
If you stuck, you sat there for hours.
Oh, that was lekker. Really enjoyed it. Lots of fun.
Lekker. Maar kokspieren.
Very nice, it was enjoyable. I didn't expect it. Yeah, it was awesome.
We're trying to keep our spirits up. We're all starving, exhausted, and the sorest feast I've ever had in my whole life.
We're just taking a look at some of the route choices once we get down, and it looks like we're just going to follow the river out till we hit the coast.
Welcome back, and thank you very much to Elevated Adventure Films for piecing together that wonderful daily video. That Via Ferrata looks absolutely insane. With that, we are going to cut to the Via Ferrata now, where Annabelle Latz was out catching up with the various teams who are taking it on. But before we do that, actually, I just want to mention our set change. As you can see, we have a much larger set and have added a couple of couches to it, because at any given point we could be expecting teams across the finish line. 6 are in, 53 are still, 53 are still out there, and will be coming in from now until this time tomorrow night. So we are ready for them as they come in. We might actually, if we're lucky, have one of the teams cross the finish line and join us live. So without further ado, here is Annabelle Latz at the Via Ferrata from T9, T10, T9, one of the two. We'll see now.
Okay, so here we are at the Via Ferrata. We've got Team Mountain Mammoth behind me. This is the first time the Via Ferrata on Rodrigues has been used. It's been built especially for Expedition Africa 2019. 65 to 70 metres long it is. It will take the teams between 45 minutes to an hour to actually get across. So it's a pretty big task ahead.
Not our team, it'll take us 30 minutes.
30 minutes, man, 30 minutes.
The challenge?
At the most. The challenge has been set. From here they'll go on to the abseil, and so it's great morning, action-packed. Day 5 for this team now, and they're still going strong, and I can't wait for more action.
Piece of rebar that I found, and a piece of like steel plating that I found. Duct tape the whole bloody thing. Shit, my thing.
Did this happen overnight?
Trying to get out of the sand.
My paddle, apart from being like hectic headwind, my paddle was a nightmare.
You got there in the end.
Yeah.
Well, at 2 in the morning.
Good job. What do you think? What do you think of the view here at the Via Ferrata?
Absolutely incredible.
Awesome.
I'm so rad.
You just had to quickly check.
You guys are racing. The teams in front of you are far in front, and the teams behind you are far behind.
Yeah.
Yes, and
cut-off is at 6 a.m. You don't want to miss cut-off.
But you won't miss cut-off.
What do you mean?
It's only 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. All you have to do is get through this hike. We're halfway through.
And a cycle.
But they said the top teams took like 12 hours to hike.
Are you guys pros at this yet?
This, yeah, I think so.
Not on speed though.
Definitely not on speed.
You are still in it, so game plan for now?
We're going to recover after the Via Ferrata. 5-minute quick food, drink, and then consistently just get on the route. We're going to make that cut-off hours to speed.
Go get them. Cheers. How was that?
So good. Such an epic trip. Have you done it yet?
No, I haven't actually. Doesn't sit right. Yeah, I did.
In daylight?
Yes.
How was that good?
Yeah, because you did it at night time.
What a special feature to such an epic race between the tortoises, caves, Via Ferrata, and an abseil that we talk about in an upcoming feature. There really is loads for these teams to really experience a true adventure on this island, and I'm sure Stefan couldn't be prouder about all the remarks and the various comments that have come through, all positive about this incredible route. Up next, Craig Geezy takes what I would call a bit of a holiday, and he goes exploring on Coco Island. He went looking for teams. That was his brief, and he head out to this amazing island, which is known for its birds. We have done a feature on it before, and it did feature in Elevated Adventure Films video yesterday. Yeah, have a look at Craig's feature on this. Basically, this is a nice little touristy piece. Why you should come to Rodrigues. Here's Craig.
Very good morning from what is T8 just behind me. Part of the media team has arrived on the island, and it's quite spectacular. Beautiful white beaches, the sun is shining, and we're going to be heading over to T8 and just checking on the CPs, and hopefully we find some teams there. Right, we have explored the entire Coco Island. We were really hoping to find some teams. Teams would have come up from T7 here to T8. Anton has done a great job looking after this little islet for the teams, and yeah, we've been, I'd say the island is probably about 300-400 meters long at a guess. We have explored, it's only about 100-150 meters wide. We haven't found any teams, but we get an opportunity to see what they have experienced, and I'm sure you will agree with us that it's tropical paradise. Sure, that was quite tough. What we did was we hiked out to the edge of the reef there just to go check out the snorkeling, and although we're only about knee deep to waist deep in the water, if this was a swim trek leg, it would have been really tough. So it's not deep enough to swim efficiently, and it is deep enough to make trekking quite difficult. I'm quite tired. I've only done about maybe 1k trek in the water. The water's warm, the sun's shining, but gee whiz, I'm feeling a bit tired. The teams would have reached here after at least 70 to 80 hours of racing, and just gives you an idea of the magnitude of this race. Sure. Well,
you know, we spend a great deal of time and effort telling these teams that the media work incredibly hard, and then Craig Geezy brings me back a piece like that, as if we just live on an island and have a holiday. Craig, I'm sure will have things to say towards the end of the show about that. Before we go into our next segment, we are going to cut over to Stats with Stain. We missed him last night because we had our winning team, Greener Adventure Cykelkraft, on with us. If you did miss that interview, you can go back into our videos playlist on Facebook and watch everything that we are releasing. We do have loads. We have a daily videos playlist, a live playlist, as well as our live from the course playlist. You can watch through all of those and see the previous content that we have released. On the website, we should mention that the live tracking link, ExpAfrica.Live, is running again. All your daily features, your Facebook inputs, your Instagram overlays, everything is back to normal, and tracking should be working as it was before we had our server breakdown. So head on to that site and check out the latest posts and information. Here is Stats with Stain.
Hi guys, it's Stan here. Now the top 5 teams are in at the finish line. We can have a look at the remaining teams that are contesting for top 10 spots. As you'll see, it's been quite hotly contested over the race, and those rankings are changing constantly. One thing I just wanted to point out is that Team Scarf Endurance Life, while they are listed in the top 10 on the ExpAfrica.Live leaderboard, I suspect, based on the dots, that they may have missed a few checkpoints early on in the race. I could be totally wrong about that, but just because the data seems to indicate it, I'm just going to exclude them from this analysis for now. So cool, let's have a look at the race flow. I've kind of zoomed in a bit to ignore the first couple of legs, so we're starting at T4 here, and you can see that initially you had Team Castle Light who were leading this pack in 6th place. They seem to have had a poor leg from transition 6 over to transition 7. That was the hike, caving, tortoise leg with the long mountain bike loop and the paddle across to T7, and that's where Plate AR took over as leading this pack. Plate AR managed to build quite a lead actually over the rest of the teams. We're looking at about 2-3 hours here, but then you'll see exactly the same thing happened as with the leaders, where that whole paddling section from transition 7 to 8 to 9, which is heavily affected by the tides, caused a concertina effect, and all those teams bunched up again. It looks like Plate AR was the worst affected. They lost their 6th place and ended up in 8th, now fighting it out with Castle Light and Power Bias with Explorers for the 6th spot. Those 3 teams have been close together for the rest of the race. just with Power Bar suddenly making a bit of a surge towards the end, and they've got a pretty clear lead over the other two right now. You'll also see that these teams in 11th and 12th, Namakwa and Addicted to Adventure, have really started catching up to the field in this last paddling leg. I presume that's because they've had good tidal conditions in daylight hours as well, compared to some of the other teams doing it at night. I've also made a bit of a diagram of how those positions have changed throughout the race for teams in 6th to 13th places. And here you'll see where Power Bar Swiss Explorers were in 9th for a good chunk of the race, and as the race has progressed, they've caught up other teams and now find themselves in a pretty commanding 6th place. On the other end of the spectrum, some teams that are moving backwards are Team Rado Brothers. They started really strongly and have gradually been slipping down the field. They've only got a few legs left. Let's see if they can maintain that top 10 position. And another team that did recover pretty well early on is Spot Africa, and they've leveled off, also fighting it out there with Rado Brothers for that top 10 spot. Here's what the tracking map looks like for the last section of the race. You can see Power Bar Swiss Explorers just have this last section of the hike to do, and then the sup to the finish. They have quite a lead over Castle Light and Plet AR, who are battling it out for 7th place at the moment. It's very tight there, but then it's quite a big gap back to the next place team. Yeah, it's pretty much impossible for these two teams to catch Power Bar, so they'll likely finish with the 6th place. And yeah, you'll see Team RAF here. They've also missed checkpoints, so they're not officially ranked nor in the competition for these top 10 spots. Yeah, so tune in a few hours if you want to see these teams finish. It looks like that sup across to the finish line is a perfect way to finish this race. Cheers, guys.
Thanks very much to Stein Larnen for all his input over this event. Unfortunately, that'll be our last stats with Stein, as most of the teams that we really try and focus on in terms of tracking are in, and the rest of the teams will all be coming in tomorrow. What is going to make tomorrow incredibly special is seeing 53 teams come over the finish line in a 24-hour period. We will be going live throughout the day with the Elevated Adventure Films crew. We will potentially be interviewing one or two teams in this setup, and then tomorrow night will be our last live TV show. We will have Craig and Annabelle join us, as well as a whole bunch of volunteers and a couple of teams. So it's really going to be a massive hoot. What we are going to cut to now is the abseil. The abseil has been a big feature in this event, as it was specially made for Expedition Africa, just like many other aspects of the race. And Annabelle Latz went out to join a couple of teams, and while she was out there, she got some cool shots. So here's Annabelle Latz.
Okay, so here we are at the abseil. The teams have come from the Via Ferrata through to here, collected a few checkpoints on the way. This abseil is about 40 metres long. They get harnessed up here, they'll walk along the bridge, and down the ropes, and then hike back up. It's then carrying on with the track to T7 to pick up their bikes. So yes, a nice adventurous day for the teams, all looking pretty good, and almost looking down the home stretch. So happy days. Welcome Crusader Logistics to the abseil. How's it all going?
Going well. Going surprisingly well.
Is it?
Yeah. Our team is gelled, and
we speak a lot of nonsense. We learned a lot about each other. Some things that I'd rather not know has kind of scarred me.
Sorry about that. I get a bit confused with how they allow other team members to have power naps, not me.
Oh no!
I'm not allowed, but other members are.
Someone in our crew has been getting very sleepy at the start. I don't know why.
It's been a bad 2 days.
Sure, right, falling asleep on your bike and things.
Doing anything, falling asleep. Whatever I'm doing, I'm falling asleep.
He's the only person who can fall asleep while he's falling asleep.
How's things?
Hey, how well in yourself?
Good, good. Are you having fun?
Definitely, yeah. It's been a good EA, and it's been tough. Paddling section, we overshot T9 this morning, so we've been close to T10, which is so at least we know where we're going tomorrow.
Fair enough, that's so true. We haven't seen you for a while. So here you are at the abseil,
Yes.
and have you done much of this before?
A few different years. We've done a few abseils and the full moon series. There's been a couple of nice ones, so looking forward to this one.
Very good. And any messages for back home?
Yeah, just to the boys and to the wife. Yeah, Dad's good. Being looked after by Bluttenheimer team, having fun, living the dream.
Very good. Thank you. Have fun. Was that fun?
It gets really, really hot.
Yeah.
Be careful where it hangs. Burnt me a couple of times already. So yeah, excuse the walk. No, you have to walk like this.
Safety first. Safety
first.
Awesome.
So you want to feel?
They do get warm. No, they do, I know. Yeah, I've said that for a while too.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Sweet, have fun.
Hey schatje, van harte gefeliciteerd.
His girlfriend has having his birthday today.
Oh, cool! Happy birthday!
Uit really, almost at the finish line. Love you.
Very good.
Hi Marlijn, zie je snel.
Even, ik hou van je, weet je.
I'd like to.
Cool.
Let's start ladies first.
Oh, we have a WhatsApp group. Last year we got about 600 messages when we came home, so we expect more than that this time. And yeah, to my mom and my dad and brother, hi, we're still alive, enjoying it mostly.
Fantastic. Okay, your turn.
My mom, my brother, my gran, and Lil. Love you guys and everyone supporting Sleepy Dragons. Thanks so much. Much love, Pura Vida.
Hopefully we can make the cutoff. Been awesome. Saw the best galaxy of stars I've seen in a very, very long time last night. So it made today worth it.
Fantastic.
A lot of love for Rodriguez, Heidi and Stefan for this amazing opportunity and incredible adventure. Thank you so much, guys.
My wife and my sons, I love you. Miss me?
And for you?
All family, friends, students, hello.
We heard you're a teacher, that's wonderful.
Yeah, for my students too.
Yeah,
The
it's
colleagues.
a teacher's
Hello.
team.
Colleagues also, hello.
Well done guys,
Mom
you're
and
setting a
Pop.
great example. Any messages for him?
For me, my family, and my boss, Mr. Reza Bali Mahmoud, especially.
Thank you for the leave. Thank you for the holiday.
His best
It's a beautiful sunset here at the end of day 5 at Expedition Africa 2019 Rodrigues. Annabelle and I have had a very busy day. We have had lots of action, lots of teams and lots of love. Tomorrow we will be looking at the finish line. And what's the other thing we're going to be doing?
Well, I was going to say we've got like 8 teams coming in the next few hours, so it's going to be very, very busy at the finishing line. Lots of happy cheers going on. And then tomorrow we're going to go and talk to some more of the back marker teams and see how they're coming through the back end of the field. And I hate to say it, but you know, Expedition Africa 2019 Rodrigues is coming to an end sooner, much sooner than we'd like to think, but that's the way it is. And the teams, it's always great to see the teams coming in safe into warm meals, and we give them a drink on arrival and have a chat to them. So that's about what we're up to.
Cool, and we're also going to spend some time with the volunteers. We have an international contingency of volunteers from all over the world, and we're going to chat to them. They're going to share their experiences, what they've been up to, how they have enjoyed the island life here at Rodrigues, and they play such a critical part in the functioning of this race and the success of this race. So we can't wait to share all that with you tomorrow. Day 6, teams have been racing for almost 100 hours, give or take.
Those two, yep.
And cool, that's it.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. A shout out to our awesome director and producer, Mr. Terence Vrugtman from AdventureLife. He has been working tirelessly behind the scenes, giving up some of these awesome sunsets to bring you the best live show in adventure racing. And Annabelle and I have had an amazing time. South Africa, New Zealand, Chief. And yeah, we are excited for
tomorrow.
Last day tomorrow. Excited, sad, let's just do this. Get off camera. I was gonna
to serve all people, all the country coming Rodrigues.
So small island, big heart.
Yes, small island, heart is big, to serve all nations come in our little media. Nuchi Rodrigues, Nuchi Lil Rodrigues.
Thank you, Captain Joko.
Merci, merci.